All right, hey guys, David Stewart here. Today we're talking a little bit about more Segovia scales. This is part two of Segovia scale series. The first part covers C major. This one is A minor. A minor, there's a lot to talk about, so if there's a little bit too much talking in this particular video, I apologize, but there's some things that you have to understand about playing in a minor key that are important. Again, Segovia scales are not necessarily for the functional use of the scale so much as for the development of good technique. This is something that I went over in a previous video, but it's important to reemphasize that particular point, just because a lot of people have pointed out correctly in the past that the Segovia scales, they don't really show up a lot in music. Occasionally you see them. I've used them a handful of times. But they are really useful for developing the ability to shift between different positions, the ability to play up over the ends of the up over the body here, for doing lots of different things that are important for the development of technique. If we go ahead and we take a look at the sheet music, here's the sheet music here, for those of you who are interested in it. I'll just pull it out like that. We can see here with A minor, C major is the one we did last week. We have A minor. We have if you pull this sheet up from somewhere, just so you know how to read it. Underneath it, you have a bracket with a number that is telling you what string to use. Above that, you have a fingering that's telling you what finger to use. You're pretty much always within a 4-fret box. The shifts are not necessarily notated, but if you see 2-finger ones in a row, you have to know where that next note is going. In this case, it's a 1-fret shift, and I'll go over the fingerings in depth in just a minute. You'll also see at the beginning of the scale sheet here, you've got a bunch of suggested fingerings. Practice each scale apoyando 7 times as indicated below. I'm not going to go over all of those fingerings, but suffice to say they're IM, MI, AM. I used to do all these different fingerings, and they're good for developing rest stroke technique, particularly AI and AM for developing really good rest stroke technique with the ring finger, which a lot of people neglect. So those are worth doing if you really want to take time to develop these. Let me go ahead and I'll blow myself back up and I'll go through the fingering nice and slowly here for you. Then we'll talk a little bit about what minor keys do and what a minor scale really ought to be. So let's see here. Here we go. All right. So starts here on the 5th fret, 5th position. Incidentally, I should say that this scale can be used to play A minor, G sharp, G, F sharp, and F minor. It can also be used to play A sharp and B minor because B is the highest fret that we get on the classical guitar. However, for B minor, there is a separate pattern. The reason for that is because if you start with this B, you end up sort of over the body a whole lot more than if you start here and do the other pattern that's in the little Segovia booklet. So we're going to start here with first finger, 5th fret, 6th string. There's our first fingering. 1, 3, 4 on fret 5, 7, 8. And again, I should emphasize it's important to think of the fingering, not just the fret, because if you go down here and start here, it's the same fingering as it is starting right here. So it's 1, 3, 4. And then on the next string, you're going to play 1, 3. So that's 1, 3, 4 on 5, 7, 8. 1, 3 on 5, 7. Then you're going to make a shift from the 5th position, where your first fingers line up over the 5th fret, up here to the 9th position. So, and we're going to do that by letting go and moving. In the other scale, I said to leave your first finger on the string, but if we do that, we get a schwick noise. So we usually want to lift completely and to try to eliminate that schwick noise as much as we can. So it's 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, shift to the 9th position, 1, 3, 4. There's our first octave. And so our 4th finger lines up on the 12th fret and our first finger lines up on the 9th fret. 1, 3, 4. Then we're going to keep going. 1, 2, 4 on the next. That's 9, 11, 12, 9, 10, 12. Then on the 3rd string, 1, 3, that's 9, 11. So 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, shift. 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 1. Now here's a weird little shift. We're doing a 1 fret shift now, from 9th position to 10th position. 1, 3, 4. And we continue there. That's 10th, 12th, 13th fret. And we're going to do 1, 3 here. 1, 3, 4, 1, 3. 1, 3, 4, 1, 3. Then we're going to make another shift up here so that this finger's on F sharp on our 14th fret. 14, 16, 17. Those are the right numbers. F sharp, G sharp, A. F sharp, G sharp, A. So we go down right here. 1, 3, 4, 1, 3. Shift to the 9th position. 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 1. Shift to the 10th position. 1, 3, 4, 1, 3. Shift to the 14th position. 1, 3, 4. Now, at this point, I'm going to mention that it's not the same fingering going down. We have a different fingering going down. This is one of many of his scales that has a different fingering going down than it does going up. But one of the reasons this has a different fingering going down is that this is not actually playing in a regular natural minor. If you listen, the scale ends with a major scale sound. So this is melodic minor. So when you get up here, you're going to turn around. Instead of playing finger 3 right there, you play finger 2 on fret 13. Then you're going to shift down to the 10th position. Finger 4 is on the 13th fret, and you're going to play 4, 3, 1. So what we're doing is on the way up, we raise the 6th and 7th scale degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are both sharp. 1. And if we look back again at the sheet music, you'll see you have right there F sharp, G sharp, A. F sharp, G sharp, A. And then on the way down, they're all natural. This is typical of what's called melodic minor form, and I'll explain a little bit more about what melodic minor form is in a second. So on the way down here, 4, 2, shift to fret, or shift to 10th position, 4, 3, 1, 4, 3, 1 on the 2nd string. Then on the 3rd string, 3, 1. Then shift so that finger 3 is right behind finger 1. And here we can leave finger 1 down. Because it's on a nylon string, it's not going to make that shook noise. Down to 7th position. 3, 1. Then on the 4th string, 4, 3, 1. Then on the 5th string, 4, 2, 1. All in the 7th position. Finally, finger 4 here, and then we're going to make a shift with finger 4 to the 5th position, and then 4, 3, 1, the way we began. Okay? So let me go through that whole thing nice and slow. And you can try to play along with me if you want, or just repeat the video, whatever you want to do. 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, shift. 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 1, shift. 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, shift. 1, 3, 4, 2, shift down to 10th position. 4, 3, 1, 4, 3, 1, 3, 1, shift down to 7th position. 3, 1, 4, 3, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, shift down to 5th position. 4, 3, 1. Now that's what's called a melodic minor scale. A lot of times you'll hear people say that there's 3 different kinds of minor scale. There's a natural minor scale, which is the same as Aeolian mode. A harmonic minor scale, which has a raised 7th scale degree, and a melodic minor scale, which is this one, which has the 6th and 7th scale degrees are raised. And then on the way down, the 6th and 7th scale degrees are lowered back to where they would be the same as the natural minor scale. Segovia liked to play all of these as melodic minor scales because you got all those alterations in it. In the melodic minor, you have all the possible alterations that you would use playing in a minor key. Now, theoretically, a lot of people say that these 3 things exist, but I've also heard really probably more convincing arguments that there's no such thing as natural melodic and harmonic minor, that there's just minor, and composers play minor scales with a flexible 6th and 7th scale degree. So when you play the melodic minor, you get all the alterations. You have the 6th and 7th raised on the way up. You have them lowered back down to natural minor on the way down. One other alteration that I would have, that I would suggest you guys play, when you're choosing to 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 play the minor scales, and this is a theory exercise and a hand exercise as much as it is a development of technique sort of approach, and that's to actually play all three forms. Harmonic minor, if you play natural minor, you can literally just play the downward part of this scale. So you go up here, play the downward part, just play it forwards, and now you have natural minor. Oh, sorry. 1 3 shift 1 3 1 3 4 1 3 4 shift 1 3, or you can do 2 4, whichever you want. But I probably do 1 3 because it's more natural. Then go back down 4 3 1 4 3 1 3 1 3 1 4 3 1 4 2 1 4 shift 4 3 1. So then you have a natural minor scale. Harmonic minor is a little trickier. If you're good, you can count slowly through the scale degrees. Remember, in melodic minor, the 6th and 7th are raised. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. That's the octave. In harmonic minor, only the 7th is raised, and it's raised both on the way up and the way down when you play the scale. The reason that scale degree is raised for you people who are into theory is so when you're playing in the key of A minor, you get a major sounding 5 chord. So when you're doing a 5-1, so the 5th chord in the key of A minor is E. You can count A, B, C, D, E. There's chord 5 is E. And instead of making it E minor to A minor as your cadence, it ends up being E7 to A minor, which is a lot stronger sounding resolution. That's why we call it harmonic minor. It's used in the harmony. So you just have to count to 7. And the 7th scale degree, you're going to play 1 fret higher than would be in the natural minor scale. So instead of playing, you're going to play 1 3 4 1 3 4 shift. Now we have this very Middle Eastern sound when you play a harmonic minor scale. That is typical. In shift. 1 2 4 1 2 1 2 4 1 4, and then shift 1 3. And then instead of playing this, you're going to play up there. Or sorry. Instead of playing G, you play G sharp. So let me go through that slowly without all the little mistakes. 1 3 4 1 3 4 shift 3 4 1 2 4 1 2 1 shift. Shift up 3 4 and then go back down 4 3 4. Or sorry. Yeah, sorry. There we go. There we go. So there's your harmonic minor scale. Sorry for like the little mistakes. I don't practice this particular scale a whole lot. But that's a really good way to think about what you're doing with harmonic, melodic, and natural minor. So again, I recommend you practice it the regular way that Segovia wrote it in the little booklet. So this way, which is melodic minor, and practice it natural minor. Natural minor, you just play the descending version of the scale the same. So you just start here, work up, and then go back with the exact same fingering. And then harmonic minor, you're going to have to come up with your own fingering. I did that kind of weird fingering. It works for me. When I use this, I actually use some different scales when I actually play harmonic minor and when I'm writing harmonic minor. But as a theory exercise, it's really good to try to play all different forms of the scale. So let me go through the melodic minor version one last time, counting out the scale degrees so you know which ones are raised and which ones are lowered to help you understand this idea. We call the melodic minor one the melodic minor one because that step and a half, a lot of times composers don't want that, so you raise the sixth and you don't get that step and a half sound. You get a nice Western sound. Okay. In reality, by the way, you may find music where the 6th and 7th scale degrees are raised on the way down as well as the way up. So there's no hard and fast rule that melodic always has them lowered on the way down. That's not necessarily the case. There are examples to the contrary. So here we go. 1, starting in the 5th position. 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 1 again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's 1 again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we go backwards. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you'll see that 6 and 7 are lowered on the way down and raised on the way up. Okay, so hopefully that has been informative for you, both in terms of theory and in terms of practice. And again, you could practice them with all the different combinations. One couple things to keep in mind: whenever there's a shift on a wound string, you're probably going to want to lift your hand and then do the shift so you don't get the that sound. But if you're doing a shift on the nylon strings, you can leave this finger down. Doesn't make any noise. You want to avoid that. Lift. So you're probably going to want to practice that lift of the finger to get back into the first position of this. And again, you can use this for A sharp. There's a little bit of a different pattern for B, because if we start with B, we end up kind of like way over the fingerboard. But you could do it if you want to. It's fine. Okay, so you could do it for B, but you could definitely do it for F minor. And again, we want to avoid that schwig. See if I can do it without the schwig. There we go. And here you can leave the finger down. There we go, no schwig on the way down. That's good. Okay, so practice that. And hopefully that will be informative for you. I'll continue to try to make this series to go through all the different major and minor scales and give you sort of a look at what those look like. So have a good one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully give me some feedback. Let me know what you want to see. Hopefully forgive the little mistakes here and there. I make a lot of these videos kind of off the cuff, and I haven't practiced Segovia scales with a lot of intent in a long time. I still use them to warm up and things like that, but they certainly are a good thought exercise, if not a very good technique building exercise as well. So you can find me outside of YouTube at my websites, davidvstewart.com, dvspress.com. You can find me at facebook.com/David Van Dyke Stewart, and on Twitter as @David V Stewart. So thanks so much for watching, and have a great night.